up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and you're watching the Red Cup Podcast, where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks, because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. And apparently, this is also where your microphone just drops right before you come on. What's up, Kelly?
Hey, girl, how are you?
Trying to fix this mic. What's going on with you?
It had to just do it. I just saw you 2 seconds ago.
Yes. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on. Don't get mad at me. It's just moving on its own. I'm like, what the?
But yeah, everything's going good. I am streaming live on X, and I see that you're on X now. I love it.
I am. I'm on X. I'm trying my hardest this year to really get my social medias together. So
I just like X because you can say whatever. You can say whatever. Okay. Although it's mean, because you can say whatever, it's like it's mean. You got some super chats already.
Okay. Hold on. I'm coming. Look at me.
Actually, I don't know. No, that's from maybe that's from before. I don't know. I'm not good at. I don't understand. They changed the platform, our StreamYard, so I don't understand it anymore. The layout is different. Okay, I see it. I got it working. Look, we're both trying to get it together today.
What's going on, everybody? How are you doing today? What's going on, gang? What's going on, your car? Let's get it. What's going on, Trav? What's going on, Eric? What's going on, Mr. Robinson? What's happening? What's going on, Lisa?
They laughing at us.
Look, it is what it is. It's alive. Okay. When normally I do my videos and that thing fall, I just push pause and go, all right, let me fix this. It's alive. It is what it is. It's going to happen. All right. So y'all already know. What's up, Melvin? All right. So you guys, y'all already know how we go. We're going to get into some stories today, but I want to go ahead and start with these Dems. Okay. Now, this week has been like the best week for Donald Trump. When I say it's been the best week for Donald Trump, I know a lot of people are like, oh, the tariffs and all. This has been the best week for Donald Trump. And it's because he's had win after win with the SCOTUS stuff, with the IRS. I mean, with the tariffs.
What's the IRS? What happened with the IRS?
Oh, we're going to get into it. But the IRS and immigration. Now, I will say this. That's the one agency I don't want Elon to fix.
Okay.
Elon.
Not right now. We need our tax funds. I need my money.
Elon, hear me. Hear me good. Do not make the IRS more efficient. We don't need it.
Not right now. not right now. Not right now.
All right, you guys. All right. So what I want to get into is Anna. Okay. Anna from TYT. She trashes Kamala. Okay. Because at the end of the day, Miss Kamala, as we already know, she went out and said that she told us so. She told us that Donald Trump was going to do all of this. She told us that Donald Trump was going to make us, I don't know, poorer than we already are, was going to make us, I don't know, become imprisoned in our own homes, was going to do martial. I mean, she was talking all kinds of nonsense. She's been going on anything that she can. She went on the Action Jackson Network. That's what I call it, the Action Jackson Network, with Al Sharpton saying all types of things. But I want to talk about Anna because Anna is a Democrat, or, well, let me rephrase that. Anna is a liberal.
Yeah, progressive.
A big one. And lately, she has been, I will have to say she's been telling the truth about a lot, like a whole lot. And I have to give her credit. I don't agree with Anna on a lot of things, but lately she has been on the money. So I really want to get into that and let you guys see how she was going off on Kamala. Okay, here we go.
Because, you know, there were many things that we knew would happen. Many things. I'm not here, so I told you so.
You were a crappy candidate. And you were part of a group of people who provided cover for a man who was falling apart mentally speaking, but decided to run anyway. Decided to stay in the race for a month after that disastrous debate against Donald Trump. And then when Biden, the most unpopular sitting president, called you up before the debate and told you, remember, kiddo, no daylight between us, do not differentiate yourself from me, you listened. So to sit there or stand there and give a speech about, oh, I told you so, I told you so. These are the worst people, man. They really are, okay? No, we all knew what Donald Trump was. We all knew. And for all the Democratic ass kissers out there who provided cover for the bad behavior of that administration, they directed their ire toward people like us who kept warning the Democrats, you're gonna lose to Trump, you're gonna lose to Trump, you're pushing unpopular policies.
Now, when you lose Anna, okay, because Anna is a lefty if I have never seen one. When you lose Anna, the Democrats are starting to lose, period. Like, to me, they're done for the next 20 years. But what do you think about what Anna said?
Well, here's the thing. Anna and Chink, they have not been rocking with the Democrats for a minute. They've always, I will say, the whole election cycle, when it was Biden, they kept saying, you got to get rid of Biden. I don't remember, they kept saying, you got to get rid of Biden. Like, they were really critical of Biden, and they was not rocking with Kamala. Now, what happened with Anna, this does not shock me, because Anna has been going further to the right, because if you remember when she was raped by that homeless person, her own people threw her under the bus. They were saying, you're talking about this, you're being racist. And she said, I never said who the race of the person. It was a white man. She had been more so like, last few months been moving to the right. Chink not, but I will give Chink credit. He has not been rocking with the Democrats, so her saying this did not shock me, because she was very critical of Biden and she was critical of Harris. She was saying that the whole time. I'll give her that.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Miss Anna here. Miss Anna, it's a little wishy-washy with me, right? Because I've watched them since I was little, right? Because they're like the grandparents of YouTube. Like, they were one of the first YouTube partners. Right. And so they've been on a long time, and they've expressed a lot of opinions. They've been back and forth when it comes to, Donald Trump. So I wouldn't necessarily put them as going so far as to the right, but I would put them as trying to lean more to the center.
You know what? I take my words back. They stayed where they were. The left went further left. Okay. Because that's a better way to put it, because they went after her hard. When she spoke about her being raped by the homeless man, they really went at her. But you all right. I'm not gonna say she went further to the right. She did not. She was where she was at. The left went, you know how they be doing, they kept on inching over. So yeah, I agree with you there. I agree with you there.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? The left is no longer, that middle ground party. It's really like I wouldn't even say it's progressive because there's nothing progressive about any of the things they're talking about. It's to me, it's socialism at this point.
They more like the Green Party to me, because you are absolutely right. Like the Democrats that are now are no longer what the Democrat Party were. Like you said, they're not really progressive. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they're
Like,
not progressive.
Green
at
Party
all.
is more progressive to me.
The Democratic Party, I think one or two things are going to happen. They're not going to be able to sustain this this movement they got going on currently, and so they're not going to be able to get in, I will say, for another 20 years. That is going to happen, or it's just going to be a whole new party in general.
Mhm.
I don't see the Democratic Party expanding. Okay, if Ratchet Crockett and Ayo Crazy is the front runners, that woman is crazy.
Yes.
If those two women are the front runners, I don't see the Democrat Party expanding on anything.
No, absolutely not.
I think this party is dying.
Yeah. Yeah. And they won't do a makeover. They won't do a revamp. They keep doing the same thing. The public says, hey, we're tired of this transgender stuff. We don't agree with this. We don't think that, we think because most of America feels this way. They don't like boys and women's sports. What do? They
Right.
double down. They will double down. And I'm like, why don't you just do something like Chat saying, why don't you do something that a little bit goes with the majority? They will not do it. They will not double down. They'll just double down. So I don't see any changes. And again, yeah, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, let's just keep it a buck. People are not going to vote for that loudmouth black lady. That's Jasmine Crockett. Okay, white America, maybe I'm crazy. I don't see white America doing it. I don't see him doing it. I don't see them voting for friggin' AOC either.
You don't see the Republicans putting up Marjorie Taylor Greene. Right? You don't see the Republicans putting up Marjorie Taylor Greene for anything.
Yeah, no, they're not going to do that.
Because even though she's funny, she's a loudmouth, right?
Right. You're right.
They would never do that.
Never.
They would never put her up there like that. But for some reason, the Democratic Party puts people like AOC, KAMALA, who's just dumb as a bunch of rocks, and Ratchet Crockett.
It's the stupidest thing. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And then they'll put these effeminate, and I like gay people, but they put these effeminate gay black men always front and center. Like why? Or you'll put a beta male, a black beta male like Hakeem Jeffries. Like, why can't y'all find just a normal?
Oh, no, you said it right the first time. Right?
I did, effeminate.
Because here's the thing.
Oh, that's right. I saw that picture with him and Rabbi Shmuley. They were awfully cozy. Hakeem Jeffries and Rab, they looked like they was.
You don't have to hate a group of people to call something out. Okay, I don't hate gay people. I don't hate transgenders, but I will call out certain things. Hell, even they are calling out stuff. You see the lesbians calling out things. They're trying to separate the T's and the LGBT. You get what I'm saying? And so, if it's nonsense, I don't care what group it is. I'm going to call it out. But they want you. Well, no, I'm not going to say they want. They have to have identity politics, because what else do they have?
I don't get it.
What else do they have to run on?
Nothing.
If there's no racism, if there's no sexism, if there's no xenophobia, child, that one gets.
Oh, I know. Abortion. Remember that old ditty?
Well, that's what they ran on last time. Even women in their own side was like,
no. And that's already been settled, but they keep bringing that back up, like we don't know the difference, like we don't know it's been left up to the states. Stupid. Yeah,
they keep bringing that up. They keep bringing, because Maryland is now bringing up what is that? What is that? What is it? Reparations. I don't know why I was slipping my mind. Reparations.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they were bringing that up.
If y'all fall for that, if y'all fall for that. Because now the state legislation is talking about bringing up reparations, exploring. I'm like, oh, like they study it with HR 40, like they studied it out in California. Like, I've done so many videos on this.
Mhm.
And people are just not seeing that this is not going to be a thing. Like, it's not.
Not
They're
right
not.
now. No,
They know.
no.
They know. They already know how they could do reparations. If they don't do it, they don't want to do it. I don't.
Right. They could have did it already. They could have did it when
Yeah,
Obama
they could.
was
They
when they had the House,
Obama.
the Senate,
They
and
would have got. They'd be better trying to get it under Trump than Obama.
well, no, this is what I'm saying. They had the House, they had all three branches when Obama was in office, the
Yes.
Democrats. That's what I'm saying. If that would have been the time to do it, and they didn't do it then. Just like that would have been the time to codify Roe versus Wade, but they didn't do it because it gives them something to run on.
It gives them
That's all.
something to complain on. That's why I always say, anytime the Democrats project something, best believe it's what they are doing. So when they were projected saying, "Oh, Donald Trump just wants to run on a problem," that's what they do. They run on a problem every time. When do they not run on a problem?
I don't know, girl. Everything's a problem.
It gets me every time. But before we move it to the next topic, I want to thank John Alexander for the $2 super chat. Thank you. Not me finally catching y'all live. Yes. Thank you, John Alexander. Yes, we're finally live. We're finally live. I told y'all I was going to do this a lot more. We're going to do a lot more lives. I'm going to do a lot more lives and we're going to get it. All right. So let's move into the next topic. So the next topic I want to get into, all right, is Ayo Crazy. I want to get into Ayo Crazy, Miss AOC. Look at the picture. Look at the picture.
I know. You
and I didn't purposely do this. I did not purposely do this. I'm telling you, I swear to goodness, I didn't purposely do this. I went and typed in AOC and all the crazy pictures came up.
Hey, this was perfect. That was a perfect overlay.
All the crazy pictures came up. But I want to get into Ayo Crazy because she started talking about Donald Trump and what Donald Trump had to say on Truth Social when he started to talk about none other than it's a good time to buy. So Donald Trump said it was a good time to buy. He didn't say what to buy or what you should be buying or what it was that he was talking about. But of course, the Democrats, because they do it themselves, they figured it out. Okay. And of course, you cannot help Main Street. You cannot help the American people, which is the reason why they lost. I want y'all to see what Ayo Crazy had to say. Here we go.
Seems to be doing, from tweeting people to buy stock and then later announcing his development on taxes. If people are pissed about insider trading here at the House, look at what's happening at the White House right now and with the Republican Party.
Do you think he knew what he was doing when he sent out that message about stocks before he made the announcement?
It sure seemed like he did. I don't think that it was a coincidence. I don't think that Trump just coincidentally said buy stocks and then shortly later made an announcement that dramatically inflated and dramatically raised a lot of these asset prices. And, I've heard murmurings on the floor that there may have been people that knew that this was coming. And I'm very interested in seeing some of the stock disclosures that come out when those reports are due. And I'm very interested in what members of Congress have been buying and trading stocks in the last 24 hours prior to this tariff announcement.
Hey,
she is a lie. She a whole lie. She is she's interested. She's interested in what
Nancy Pelosi. That's who I'm always interested in.
This woman is not dumb. Like, this woman is not stupid. You're exactly right. I think she looks exactly like the lady that plays Snow White, and they're both deranged. They're
Rachel
both deranged.
something. What's that woman? Rachel
Zegler.
Rachel Ziegler. Yeah, Zegler. Yeah,
something like that. Yes, they look exactly alike. They're both spicy white, right? They're both spicy white women, and they're deranged liberals. But when I tell you, she knows already Bernie Sanders, he's already talked about this. She's on tour with Colonel Sanders right now.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows. She knows. Nancy Pelosi has how many Nancy trading pages?
There's a whole app. I downloaded this app. Like whatever,
Yes.
whatever
Whatever
Nancy
she
buys.
trades, whatever Nancy buys, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, go with. It is the
Yeah.
best bet ever. A lot
And
of
you
people
just said
trade
he
off
didn't-
Nancy.
And that's what I was looking down. I was looking on the Truth Social. He didn't. What stock did he tell people to buy? Because I'm like, that would be insane. Like,
See,
I'm looking on it, I don't see it. I don't. And I
he
listened to
didn't.
the
He
show.
didn't, which is why they can't get him. They just want something to talk about. But the
Mhm.
reason why they can't get him is because he said it's a good time to buy, and it's a
Well,
good
it
time
is.
to buy a lot of things right now.
It is,
But-
yeah.
But the problem is he's saying it's a good time to buy when that came up. Did you see like the committee that was going on? And after that came out, they were like, did you know that this was going to happen? And he was like, well, I'm not supposed to tell, what's going on. He's like, so you just set up here knowing that this was going to come out. And the guy was like, I mean, what you want me to say? Like they are mad. They are
Mhm.
mad that the
Mhm.
stock market is rebounding. And the thing about it is these people know that the laws and things that they make affect what goes on. That's how they're able to do it, which is the reason why they shouldn't be allowed to trade.
They really shouldn't. It's really not fair. Yeah, I agree.
Jim Crow Joe said it in his final speech. Jim Crow Joe said that there are so many congressmen and women who are cheating the American people and they're day trading and they're doing this and doing that. Like that's what he said. And I think
Jim Crow
that was
Joe
his way
is
of getting
hilarious.
back.
That Jim Crow
Rules
Joe
for
is hilarious.
the correct, your car. That's 100% correct. Your car, no. Your car up on them stocks,
Mhm.
But it's just so funny because they will sit here, right, and act like Donald Trump just started all this stuff. Donald Trump is the first person ever to say something and then be this close to the stock market. Like, come on. It's just Trump derangement. But what it shows the American people is that these people already know they're crooked.
Mhm.
And that's why I keep saying the Dems are done. Like they're done. Because every time they try to expose Trump, they end up exposing themselves. Because she had, in order to say anything about Trump, she had to go ahead and say that the people in Congress are already doing this.
Yeah, that was a smart save. I will give her that. That's probably the smartest thing
Oh, she knew
she's ever
better.
said.
She knew better. Because
Mhm.
if she had not said that, but start coming for Trump, then what?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm just like, at the end of the day, I think there needs to be a cap on term limits, and I think there needs to be a ban on allowing these people to trade.
They have to. And especially with the term limits. Look, I think these people are really cheating these elections. You cannot tell me Maxine Waters has won every single election since, what was it? Abraham Lincoln was in office. She's been running since, like,
Girl,
it's crazy.
she been in office since the Civil War.
Or Steny Hoyer in our city. That dude's been in office since, I think, before we was even born. Like, seriously.
A lot of these people.
There's
a lot of
no
these
way. There's
people-
no way they never lost. There's no way. There's no way.
And you got to think too. A lot of them depend on the ignorance of the people. Honestly and truly, they depend on the people not knowing anything. They depend on the people, just voting Democrat, really. And that's what's been happening, honestly, for like the last 60 years.
Yes.
They just been voting Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. I know so many people that are saying they were voting. They were just voting because the person was Democrat and black or just Democrat.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's normal.
I've been saying for the last 3 years, elections are definitely rigged. I think a lot of them are set up in a way that it is rigged, right? They don't necessarily, and up until like Trump, I don't think they were like rigging them, but I think they're like rigging them like with ballots and everything now.
Yes.
But before, I think it was just set up a certain way it was to their advantage. Right? The people in their states, the people in these populated areas, all of that works to Democratic advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people, especially a lot of men, are going Republican now. So at this point, I don't think they're getting it for the next 20 years. That's just my thoughts.
It's gonna be
Thank
a
you
minute.
for the $5 super chat. Classy perspective. Go ahead and read that for me.
It says California people are ignorant. Maxine should have been gone. She looked like the crypt keeper. Yo,
Let me tell you something.
look. Maxine Waters is
Let
the
me
OG
tell
with
you
the bad wigs. Now Jasmine Scott is giving her a run for the money when it comes to the the bad wigs.
Let me
The
tell
crypt
you
keeper's a good one though.
something. That woman's wig looks like it will catch brush fire at any minute. Like if you breathe, if you got hot breath, it's gonna set fire to that wig. I can't stand her wig. And then she be shifting it on like it be live television and she be shifting the wig. And I'm like, ma'am, you do understand that you're on live television. She don't care.
Yes. No, she don't care. And she has a lot of money. Lady, you've been stealing for a very long time. I don't understand. I don't get it.
She definitely has. Those people in California have to be the worst.
Okay, I wanted to pull up this picture of the
You know
crypt.
what? I haven't seen that in so long. She definitely does. Her and it's one more. It's one more person that's Nancy. Because Nancy looks like that now. Nancy looks so old. And when I saw that video of her, I was just like, wow.
She is old. Nancy's like in her 80s though.
Yeah, I know.
Look, I think Nancy actually kind of looks good for 83 or whatever.
No.
Nancy's so old. I found a picture of Nancy.
So
look, I'm gonna find it too. It was a picture of Nancy at John F. Kennedy's inauguration. Let me pull that joint. I saw it on X. I was like, whoa.
She was at Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, she was at his, at his inauguration. I said, wow.
Oh my God.
I found it. I found it, girl.
Oh my
Chat
God.
gotta see this.
How long has she been in politics? I need to figure that out.
Well, her dad was in politics. He in Baltimore. He was with the mob. There it is, y'all. She looks pretty though.
No, she's a nice looking woman back in her day.
She looks pretty. I think she was like 16 or something. But yeah, in 1961, Nancy Pelosi at John F. Kennedy's inauguration in 1961.
All I'm gonna say is, if John F. Kennedy looks at you like that, you know what happened.
Okay, all right.
All right, so let's get into Ratchet Crockett here. All right, so and Kendra G, y'all are not right. Y'all are not right, because Kendra G had that wig that slipped back.
Oh man,
terrible. Yeah, she had bald headed reason. So anywho, Ratchet Crockett. Let's get into Ratchet Crockett. So she's back ranting about her favorite people, not African Americans, not white people, but the illegals. She'll be at a group of, I don't know, any type of group talking to everybody else but illegals, talking about illegals. A couple of days ago, we talked about Ratchet Crockett talking about they're not going back to picking cotton.
Oh man.
Right?
Was so
But she's
ignorant.
talking to Black people. Like, she's not telling them what she doesn't have any plan. She's not telling them what she's willing to do, what the Democratic Party is trying to do. She's only talking about what Trump is doing or what he ain't doing. Some lies. But she's only talking about that. Like, the Democratic Party doesn't have a plan. That's why I keep saying they're done. They're not talking about anything. And Donald Trump said it right. If this is their star, like if Ratchet Crockett is their new star, they're definitely done.
They are done ski.
She's dumb.
Yeah.
Next to Kamala. Okay. But I want to get into what Ratchet Crockett had to say, because Ratchet Crockett decided that she was going to interrupt the committee meeting again with her rant and her speeches. So I want to get into that and see what you guys think about this. All right, here we go. Look at her. Just a weirdo.
In the Republican Party, it has to do with things like deleting the history of Jackie Robinson, deleting the history of Harriet Tubman, or deciding that the Tuskegee Airmen should be deleted, or maybe just defunding the African American Museum. The list kind of goes on and on and on, but I am not here to talk about why they are racist. I am here to talk about some other things as it relates to immigration. So let's get to that. You know, it's interesting because we got all these theories. I don't know why we put up with getting data and facts if we just gonna sit here and talk about how we feel. So, you know, maybe we can inject some facts into these feelings. I'm not really sure. But as somebody who has actually practiced criminal defense, I don't know if there's anybody else in here who has. I can tell you that I have handled thousands of cases, not hundreds of cases, thousands on the state level in Texas, Arkansas, and the federal level. And I can tell you that, you know what? If I had to look at the vast majority of the cases that I was representing criminal defendants on, the vast majority of them just didn't happen to be immigrants. These are just the facts of my experience, and maybe the immigrants went to somebody else. I don't know, but I can tell you in my actual experience in real life, in reality, and not in this fallacy world that y'all are making up where you hate on everybody. So my Republican colleagues are here using today to continue pushing this false narrative of sanctuary cities harboring criminals. Yet right here in DC, we have a 34-count felon being harbored in the White House. The hypocrisy coming from your side of the aisle over concerns regarding lawlessness is outrageous. Right now, House Republicans are conducting town halls with constituents lying about our legal system. That quote, there is no due process if you come here illegally because you violated the law. That immigrants, quote, are not entitled to due process. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that.
Bald head reasoning. There, I said it. Bald head reasoning. Because I know she's bald headed under that wig. Look, y'all can't joan on me. I come on here with my real hair all the time. So y'all can never say I'm bald headed. She's bald headed. I have yet to see her hair. Bald head reasoning. I know when I see it. Yeah, there. I said it. Southern B said, what's she ranting about? Nothing. Nothing, Southern B. Bald head reasoning. Just saying whatever. Just saying words. Go ahead, friend. I'm sorry. Go ahead. And then go and say, I don't think anybody else tried any cases. Girl, everybody's a daggone lawyer in Congress. What are you talking about? Every friggin' body's a lawyer. Like, knock it off. Knock it the flick off. Like, she's so special. DEI hire. Yeah, she said she was a DEI hire. I saw you chat. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yo, that was hilarious. So look, yeah, I don't know what this woman is talking about. I never know what she's talking about. And all of my videos, every time you guys see me, I say the same thing. Like, people are like, why do you say that all the time? Because I don't know. I don't know what she's talking about.
She be saying
Like
words.
she went from
man.
here. You remember that old episode of Martin? I take you here, and I take you there. Martin, that's what she does. I don't know what she's talking about. I don't even
Filibuster.
know what the committee meeting is about because she's ranting about the museum, you know, the African American Museum. She's ranting about that because they're spreading lies saying that he wants to get rid of the stuff that's in there. And I'm like, it's part of the Smithsonian. That's why it's on the list. He never said he was getting rid of any of that. Like I don't understand, right?
Well, let
Like,
them check it. He's bringing back segregation. It's going to be whites only bathrooms. Remember that?
oh, I remember. I remember when the whole time he's talking about transgenders.
All the
Like,
black people on my ex, they're like, yeah, bring it back.
all of them were on TikTok talking about the same nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like it doesn't make any sense. Thank you, Classy Perspective, $45 super chat.
Oh,
All
I
right,
missed that one. Let me go back.
I got it. It's
Okay.
cool. Jasmine is the new Maxine Waters. Both of their wigs are cocked like a pistol, especially cocked to the side. That Maxine Waters, she take that wig and she slide it to the child. That wig is something evil. That wig is something
Classy is
evil.
on fire today.
Yeah, Classy is on fire. That
With
wig is
the
something
singers.
nasty. That's nasty work. and I'm telling you, Ratchet Crockett is on the same path. I think she wants to do that, right? She wants to take that type of approach where she has a seat forever, just like Maxine, and does absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what she wants. She wants that type of career.
Yeah, I think so too. Because she don't work.
Yeah, she doesn't work. When is Ratchet Crockett ever at work?
I looked that lady up in Congress.gov, and somebody tried to argue with me in the comments on my
And
TikTok.
it said she had the worst record in Congress, and that she doesn't vote on anything. I tell people this all the time.
She doesn't vote. She hasn't put anything. She hasn't sponsored everything that her name is attached to. It's a co-sponsor, and it'll be like 10 other people. It's not like it's she actually authored.
She's never sponsored a bill.
Nothing.
The woman can't. She can't. The people in her district are not even the people in her district. I don't even think they voted for her. Because if you go down there, they're like, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? And I'm like, y'all don't know that this woman is your representative? Nah.
I'm telling you, I think they be cheating.
she did with those migrants.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's
thank
right.
Thank you for the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I always look forward to this duo. Oh, thank you. Thank you. As one of my friends, Van, would say, glazing. I hate that. I had to figure out what that was. He was like,
that's what the kids say.
The kids say. I'm like, what is that? He's like, but yeah, so I'm just sitting here like Ratchet Crockett is sitting up here trying to, make us seem like we don't know what we're talking about, but we can never figure out what she's talking about, what she's trying to convey in these hearings. What is she actually trying to tell us? What are the Democrats trying to do? What is she saying?
I don't know what their goal is. They have no direction. They have no leader.
Like whether you like the Republicans or not, the Republicans have a clear message, right? Whether you like it or not, you can attack it that way. Half of the time I can't even attack the Democratic message. I'm just really attacking the Democrats and the person because or the politician because they don't have an actual clear message.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Ratchet Crockett doesn't like the immigration situation. Okay, what is your alternative? I get that you don't like it. What's your alternative? I'll actually be willing to hear it. I'm not voting for it, but I'll be willing to hear it. But I haven't heard it. So how is this woman an actual representative? She's not representing any of her people. Well, maybe she is because she was voted in by some of those 4 million that got into that district.
Right.
Because she's in the district right next to Wesley Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And she lied about that. She lied about it being a 2 white Republican seats, when it ended up being 1 Democratic seat to a Latino, a white Latino, but he a Latino, okay? And Wesley Hunt. Like, you can't mix those 2 up with white men.
Yeah.
They're clearly people of color or spicy white. You know what I mean? They're clearly those type of people. But she lied anyway and said that they were white men on the Republican side.
Yeah,
Like,
I saw you covered it. You covered it on your channel.
It's so disingenuous. That woman gets on my nerves. And nobody on the left calls her out. They just keep allowing this woman to say whatever she wants. So, continuing with the ratchetness of Miss Ratchet Crockett, we're going to get into her talking about Trump's tariffs down in the halls of Congress. All right, here we go.
Realm. So I am telling you that this is a failed thing, but we've got to do better to connect the dots and let people know the reason you can't afford a home is because of these failed immigration policies. The reason you're not going to be able to afford your food is because of these failed immigration policies. And the same can go for the hospitality industries, where we have so many of those in the hospitality industry that are saying they do not have the workers that they need right now. Realm. So I am telling you that this is a failed thing, but we've got to do better to connect the dots and let people know the reason you can't afford a home is because of these failed immigration policies. The reason you're not going to be able to afford your food is because of these failed immigration policies. And the same can go for the hospitality industries, where we have so many of those in the hospitality industry that are saying they do not have the workers that they need right now.
So, because they do not have the workers that they need right now, we're supposed to get immigrants because, Black folks is done working in the fields. They've done picking cotton. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Dre Harden, go ahead and read it for me.
It says, Crockett lied, claiming to be a lawyer for Botham Jean's family. The family had to issue a cease and desist order through the courts. Jezebel Jasmine. I did not know that. Let me research that. Let me research that.
You done told the wrong two.
Yeah.
You done told the wrong two.
I love a deep dive.
We will deep dive in and find out. And we will put it up on the child, up on a live in a video. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. That's funny because that's not the first time that she lied about her, her experience, because she also lied about, what's his name? The Crockett, was it Crockett firm?
I know what you're talking about. Oh my gosh.
She said they were representing her in a matter when she was
Johnny
at school.
Cochran?
Yeah,
Johnny
Cochran.
Okay.
The Cochran firm. Yeah. That they were representing her in a matter that she had at her school when she was studying to be a lawyer, and that it was because she was experiencing white supremacy and hate mail and all this other stuff. And when everybody went to go actually look this case up, they couldn't find it. The Cochran firm didn't reach back out. Like, nobody can find this case that she's talking about.
Yeah, she's a liar. That doesn't shock me.
She's a whole liar.
She's a
whole liar. She's a whole liar. Now, before we move on, the wig is sending me.
Look, I'm tired of these wigs. I'm sick. This woman makes too much money. There's no reason for it. And you're lying about those friggin' tariffs, lady. First of all, or what I think, the reason why I think a lot of people can't afford homes right now, which, by the way, the insurance rates have gone down substantially. Okay, that's breaking news. That's new because of everything that's going on. But prior to this, I don't know. Maybe it's because we got 10 million people in this country that shouldn't be here. Now you have an influx of population. I think that's going to cause a housing shortage, and I think that's going to cause property prices to go up. That's kind of common sense. That's what I think it is.
Well, you
okay?
got that. You have, these corporations buying these single family homes, right? You have that going on. So, and you have a shortage of housing because you have, illegal migrants here, like you said. So
Yes.
with that being, with that being the case, but inflation is actually down.
Yes.
Inflation is actually down.
Gas is down.
It's down. It's down since COVID.
Oh yeah.
It's down the first time since COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, gas is down to like $60 a barrel. Okay. They're not
And
talking about that. The jobs numbers are up.
Oh, that's good.
The CPI, like the stock market rebound. They want to say that it rebound because of, I don't know, because the 90-day freeze. And I'm just like, that's not the case. That's not the case. Donald Trump is freezing those things because of the simple fact that these other countries are coming to the table. The whole point is to negotiate a fair trade deal.
Right, right.
So
Right.
any negotiation is actually going to benefit us. They're like, well, there's no deals yet. If you're
That's not
calling
true.
me, telling me, and you leave me a voicemail and you say, Mika, I want to talk. I want to do. That means what I put out is making progress. Like they're
And they
so
have been
disingenuous.
And they have been cutting deals. They have been. And I don't know about you, and I think chat would agree. I'm okay with paying 2 cents more for grapes or whatever than there being daggone slave labor,
Yes.
picking this stuff. Like
Children.
we talked about on my show. Hello Fresh. Remember the Hello Fresh had illegal immigrant kids working in their factories.
Why do you think I just said children?
Yeah.
Because
no.
they like to always bring up children, right? And I'm just like, those children that got left at the border or were sent to the border by themselves usually end up in slave labor.
Mm-hmm.
And
those are the lucky ones.
Or the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Elon and Trump, we need to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse in the government, Social Security. Leftists. Trump is trying to get rid of Social Security. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't Chuck Schumer in there. We need to find a way to wring out the fraud, waste, and abuse. And I'm just like, isn't that the same verbiage?
Okay, we got another one. Thank you for the $5 chat. Bernie's book tour. It says immigrants receive more from tax-paying citizens than money they pay back into tax. And let's not talk about the money sent back to their country. Speak on it, Bernie's book tour.
Let me tell you how that works. Okay.
Go ahead.
As a person that is an American but has immigrants in my family, I'm gonna tell you how that works. Okay. They will get the money here, work together, live together, save up all the money, send it back. Okay. Put it in those type of banking systems that allow for the American dollar to sit there and grow, to sit there and collect interest. It's worth more. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then bring everybody else over here. And now you get to live like kings. Everybody has houses that are paid for. Everybody has cars that are paid for, and you just rinse and repeat. You get businesses because a lot of people don't take advantage of the small business opportunities in these communities. They're there for minorities. They're there, which is the reason why the Koreans come in these communities and open up carryouts everywhere here in Maryland and DC. I'm sure they're doing it in other places. Okay, open up not beauty parlors, but beauty shops.
Beauty supply store. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You can do it. You can do the same thing. The Africans come here and do it. These little braiding shops, like it's really, they're just pooling their money together. They send it back. They create better villages or depending on what they call it, better areas in their home countries with the money that they make here and send back? Like, it's
Yep.
group economics. The reason why, and I keep saying this because I love that Dr. Claude Anderson talks about this. The reason
Yeah.
why Black Americans, all right, are at the bottom is because they don't do group economics. They think that just because they're technically owed something, that's what's going to get people to move. No, you need group economics, so you can then buy, unfortunately, buy the people that you need to move and shake. Okay? It's a Chinatown in every freaking city in America. Well,
Yep.
big city in America. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because they buy it.
Mm-hmm.
All right? They got people moving and shaking. Simple as that.
And the
Simple as
government
that.
helps them out. And then the government helps with little incentives.
Because they have the money. You don't see, you don't see them
You
advocating
still
for
do that.
Asian representation. Why?
Mm-hmm.
They don't need no representation. They got the money.
Mm-hmm. That burns Nora up. You know, my girl, because she's, you know, a child of immigrants too. She's like, no, these other immigrants are always sending money back home. It's money leaving our economy. I said, that's a good point. You know,
Look, when and then the opportunities that are already here, right? My great grandfather, when he came over here from Poland, right? When he came over here from Poland, he joined the military.
Mm-hmm.
That was his only way he was going to stay here and not be deported back to Poland.
Mm-hmm.
And he took advantage of all the veteran status stuff. He had to go fight. He had to do all of that. But he took advantage of those opportunities, right? So sometimes when you don't have anything, okay, you might join the military and things like that. That's even, you know, discouraged at some level in society. So all the opportunities that you could have, a lot of times they're not even using.
Oh, dang it. I was trying to pull up one. Yes. No, you're right. You're right. Sorry, I was chatting and
Immigrants got our 40 acres and a mule with all the incentives the Dems gave them to come over here. Exactly, Eric.
Facts.
Thank you, love. Yeah, exactly. They got it. They got it because one, they know they're needed. The American population is down. They know they running game. They know it's not about asylum and all that other stuff. They know that they're needed. They know these companies want to scam. They know all this stuff. They're not dumb. They're not oblivious. They know this. So what do? They use it to their advantage. I can't hate on it, but I don't like it either because I'm an American and you got to go. Like, you got to go. So speaking of that, okay, I want to get into Donald Trump. Okay. Donald Trump is the final boss. All right. And the reason why I say Donald Trump is the final boss is because Donald Trump is out here making moves with the IRS, with ICE, with immigration. Like, when I tell you he is doing a lot, he is doing a lot. All right. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the IRS now has to report to ICE on these illegal immigrants. Okay. So I want you guys to watch this video about the IRS. All right. Here we go.
Also in Washington, Acting Commissioner of the IRS is resigning over a new deal that will share the tax data of immigrants with U.S. immigration agents. Third person to leave the top job at the IRS since President Trump took office, and other senior IRS officials may step down as well. It's also 6 days until tax day. Chief Washington correspondent John Carl has the latest on all this. Good morning, John.
George, this is an extraordinary development coming less than a week before that April 15th tax deadline. ABC News has learned that the acting commissioner of the IRS plans to resign as early as today, along with other senior officials at the tax collecting agencies. These resignations come after a data sharing agreement that was revealed late Monday night, where the IRS must share confidential tax information with Immigrations and Customs Enforcement for the purposes of identifying and deporting people illegally in the United States. Officials at the agency have questioned whether the agreement is legal. Again, this is the third head of the IRS to resign just this year, since January 20th. And all of this less than a week before the April 15th deadline for all of us to file our taxes. George?
Yeah, and John, we have no idea what this is all going to mean for enforcement and revenue collection at the IRS right now.
Not at all.
Okay, John Call, thanks very much.
Good. Hell, put me on that list.
I was
Don't
waiting.
collect nothing from me.
I was waiting. Like,
So essentially, the lady that resigned, she was taking over for the other person that had resigned when Trump first got in office.
okay.
So they didn't want to comply then because they were talking about that then, right? When he first got elected. And they didn't want to comply. So he literally the next day decided to resign.
Mm-hmm. Good. Get out of here. I mean, he's just gonna get fired anyway. You know, Trump like to fire people.
Like why is this okay? Why is this not okay? But it was okay for Joe Biden to add 600 plus agents to go look at cash apps and Zelle.
That was crazy. And they were using AI technology. I talked about it on the show. They were using AI technology to go violated everybody's Fourth Amendment right, going through your personal bank information.
Correct.
That's a
So
violation
they
of your
are
Fourth
allowed
Amendment.
to. That's my point.
Mhm,
The Dems
mhm.
are always allowed. The Dems are always allowed to break the rules. That's my
Mhm,
point. They're
mhm.
always allowed. Nobody says anything when Joe Biden does that. Nobody says anything when Bill Clinton does it. Okay? Because Bill Clinton and Ira is the reason why we're in this immigration nonsense in the first place, which is the
Mhm.
reason why families get separated. If you actually go back and look at the 1996 Ira immigration law, okay, that comes from a Democrat, he decided that if you came over here illegally, it was a crime. And because before that, it wasn't a crime. That's what Ratchet Crockett is probably talking about. But
Oh, that's what. Okay, I didn't know why they kept
it
saying that. I'm like,
wasn't because
why do
it
they
wasn't
keep
at
saying
first.
this?
It wasn't
Okay.
at first until Bill Clinton decided to put his little nasty foot down and say, "This is a federal crime." And
Mhm.
so the Ira passing decided to say, "Hey, this is going to be a crime. You if you're found over here, then you can't come back for this extended period of time. I think it was like 10 years, right?" And so it made it harder to have a pathway to citizenship because they used to have an easy pathway. They just came over here. They could stay with their relative. They could stay with, somebody they married and such and such and such. So the very thing that they're fighting came from a Democrat.
Of course.
I keep telling y'all, Donald Trump is a Democrat. I'm telling you, I think he does this. Oh, Democrats did this. That works. And he goes with it.
They all work
and they
against
fuss
them.
about it. And they fuss about it. And I'm just like, everything that he does, I can literally go back and find a Democrat doing this, implementing this, or is the reason why we even have it in the first place.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense because we've seen them go at illegal immigration. You know, we talked about the last time. What was it? Pelosi, Obama. Yeah. So that does not shock.
But a lot of people, they because Obama would be going back, a good 15 to 20 years. But if you go back 30 plus, you would find Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
And Bill Clinton got hard on illegal immigration.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just
I did not know about that law thing though, the IRA thing. I didn't know about that.
It's called IRA. It's called IRA. And when I tell you, he played no games and it uptick getting people sent home. And so that's when people started to go in the shadows. And then that's when they started talking about immigration. So it came under Bill Clinton,
Okay.
just like Glass-Steagall and all that other stuff that snowballed into the 2000s. And then they want to say, oh, it comes from a Republican. No. And now a Republican may have kicked it down the road like George Bush. But it didn't come from a Republican. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't do their due diligence. They don't read, they don't know anything. And then they want to sit here and argue with me about stuff. Oh, well, it was Trump. Trump separated the families. No, Trump didn't separate anything. Okay.
They
Bill
can
Clinton-
all get deported together. Tom Homan said it.
Hey, Tom Homan's a beast. Tom Homan's a beast. All right. So the last thing I want to get into, okay, of people fighting about Trump's boss moves is CNN, my favorite. I want to go out on a high note because my favorite, Scott Jennings, decided that he was just going to obliterate everybody. Okay. So I want you guys to see CNN and Tiffany. I think her name is Tiffany. She's on Angela Rye's podcast. So, you know, she's Trump deranged, bald-headed reason, all that good stuff. I want you guys to see their exchange. Here we go.
Reality that we are dependent on so many things to come out of
Because
our biggest adversary in
Yes,
the world. They are the enemy, and we should not be dependent on
But no,
them.
they are not our enemy. They're our biggest trading partner. And if
They've got rare earth minerals and you don't. They're the enemy.
Right. But
more than
listen,
us.
but like it or not, sure, Michael, they are our biggest trading partner. And if we were to manufacture iPhones here, iPhones would cost $3,500. The American people are not going to tolerate that. We have one of the highest standards of working conditions here. I don't think that we can say, forget you, China. They
So it's
literally.
okay. So you're okay. Hold on, Sir Michael. So you're okay. You're okay if we continue to put our own economic and national security future in the hands of our biggest enemy, because effectively they use slave labor to build stuff, and that makes it better for us. That is terrible.
I am 100% not okay with that, but I'm dealing in the reality
But
of
you
what
are.
is.
Do you want to change reality that we are dependent on so many things to come?
Did you hear what that woman said?
I caught it. No, that's what you want. You want slave labor, lady.
But she said that
China is our biggest ally. Get the flick out of here.
She said that China wasn't our enemy.
Oh, they kind of are. They kind of are. That's the one country, them and Russia, we don't want no smoke. We don't want no smoke with them. Okay, especially she's tripping. Yeah, I caught it. That was bananas. And here's the thing: we gotta do this. And you know more about this than me, Mika, because you know more about this stuff than you always know more about this than me. Them daggone chips. Because if China goes into Taiwan, because you know Taiwan makes our chips, you know what I'm talking about, those tech chips. You know what I'm talking about, the chips. Yeah, that's bad news for us. That is bad. That is bad news bears. If China goes and invades Taiwan, where are we going to get our chips from?
That's why we need to do it ourselves. And we have the means. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Can you read that for me?
Sure. It says immigrants receive more from is that it? Immigrants receive more from tax-paying citizens than money they pay back into tax. And let's not talk about the money back into their.
I think I got it.
I think we did do that one.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure. But and thank you all for the super chats. I appreciate it. We
definitely appreciate it.
So much appreciate it. I'm telling you, look at that. Like, they're deranged. This is why I say they are going, they can't get back in office. They can't get back in office. Okay. If you're out here saying that China is our ally, they're our biggest trading partner, but they're definitely not our allies.
No.
And they're definitely the enemy of the state, because we have IP addresses that they steal, and then we have to buy it back.
Yeah, Trump just did something where Chinese students can't come here on student visas. And I'm flicking it up a little bit, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Like, that's how much they're kind of our ops, you know, and of course the lefties were complaining about that. Hey man, they can go to another school. And And they got it together over there in China. I be seeing them little Chinese kids learning how to cook and doing taekwondo and learning I don't know.
And their TikTok don't have none of this nonsense that our TikTok. They're not dancing, they're not doing all that retarded stuff that we be doing. They are learning.
They know that AI stuff. Yeah.
They are learning. Now, don't get me wrong, their government is trash. Okay, their government is trash. How they treat their people is trash. But when it comes to certain things, they're making sure that their population is at least well educated. They're controlled like I don't know what, but look at it. They're well educated.
And the worst thing that happened to us was them teaming up with Russia. You know, like that.
Yeah, and so
that was their fault.
That whole BRICS situation is crazy. But again, when you have a government that doesn't care about the people, okay? When you have a government that doesn't care about devaluing the dollar, when you have a government that doesn't care about trying to replace and instead of incentivizing your people to have more, kind of like China's doing, because you remember their one-child policy is pretty much ruining them right now. Like their one-child policy is pretty much just like ruining them from the point of they're behind in where they should be in population growth, right? And so instead of trying to do that, we're trying to import people. Like it makes absolutely no sense.
Country full.
And yeah, and so I'm going to end with this. I just think that at the end of the day, we need to start worrying about America first. And I'm talking about Democrats, Republicans, independents, I don't know, them crazy progressives. If everybody was America first, you can probably look at different ideas. But the problem is only one party seems to be concerned about the Americans, whether you like their ideas or not. Only one party seems to be concerned about the people here.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That other party is ran by the globalists and their friggin' world one government agenda. Yeah, they put us that's what they want. One world order. And they are run by, and I'm not saying it's not super wealthy billionaires that are Republicans, but I'm saying that's where they're hanging out right now is the Democratic Party. Those people that want the open borders, one world government, all of that. They want us all as serfs. What did they say? You will own nothing and like it. The dude from the
2030 agenda.
Thank you. You always know what I'm talking about. You always know what I'm talking about. Yes, that dude, Klaus, whatever, from World Economic Forum. That's their agenda. That's what they want. 100%. Nope.
So China ended their one child policy in 2015. In 2015, you're not going to recover from years of only having one child, because that does something to multiple generations. Man, look, we can talk about a whole lot. Y'all not gonna get my channel shut down.
No. Look, we already said we're gonna do Rumble. Yeah, come Saturday. We doing the Rumble. Well, I don't know if Mika's gonna be free, but I'm doing my Rumble. Yeah, I let loose. I talk about
yeah, and that's when you have to talk about it on Rumble. I hear you, Tyrone, and yes, you're absolutely right. So at the end of the day, look, we just have to be more mindful, more aware, and we have to go ahead and make sure we vote our interests. And yes. So I'll leave you guys with this. There was an incident in New York in the Hudson River. A helicopter literally just fell out the sky. It was a family from Spain, I believe, if I'm right, Eric. Yeah, we were just looking at that earlier. So thank you, Eric, for reminding me. So you guys, they didn't say whether they didn't survive or not, but it don't look good. Like it really doesn't look good. I don't like showing stuff like that because it was like they literally fell out the sky. But you can type that in and it'll it'll show you on IG or X. But you know, keep those type of people in your thoughts. Like it's crazy. Every time you turn around, there's some type of aviation issue.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these planes and helicopters. It's weird.
Yeah. But thank you guys for pulling up. Our hour is done. We've been, running our mouths for a long time, but I always appreciate it. Thank you for pulling up. Thank you for listening to us pour it up about these topics, about, crazy Democrats, the AO crazies, the ratchet Crockett's, the, switch my wig Walters. I can't, that woman in that wig, like that is the driest wig I've ever seen in my life. Every time I think about it, I'm like, if she just backs up to a light, it's just gonna go. That wig is so dry. You know how you got a Christmas tree? You gotta put the water on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Don't they got stuff you could spray on the wig?
She need to get her wigs from like Virgin Hair Fantasy, like one of like, or hit up. What's the guy's name? Arrogant Tay. Hit up Arrogant Tay, man. Like he be doing all the baddies wigs. Like,
next thing you're not trying to spend that money. Arrogant Tay about to charge her a whole $2
She got it. She's stealing from us. She got it. Her ain't Crockett.
Oh, you guys, thank you so much for pulling up. It's your girl Mika. It's your girl Kelly, and we out. Bye.